There are creatures in this world that have been spotted by a small number of people, but have never been officially confirmed to exist. We call these beings UMA, Unidentified Mysterious Animals. Welcome to the UMA series. Today we are talking about one of the most famous unknown creatures from American urban legends, the Goatman. The Goatman is a deeply mysterious creature. According to reports, it has a human face combined with the rear body of a goat, walks upright on two legs, stands around 7 feet tall, is covered in long hair, moves with surprising speed, and is known to be extremely violent. Most sightings have placed it deep in forests and mountains. If you have watched horror movies, anime, or played certain video games, chances are you have already come across this kind of image in one form or another. But where did this creature actually come from? If you search online, you will find that after World War II, Goatman sightings were reported across almost the entire North American continent. But the most widely known story comes from the early 1970s. According to this account, at the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center in Prince George's County, Maryland, a researcher named Stephen Fletcher was conducting biological experiments on goats when something went terribly wrong. The experiment allegedly transformed his assistant into a half-human, half-goat creature, one that lost its mind entirely and began roaming the roads of Beltsville, attacking passing vehicles and pedestrians with an axe. Now, this strange story was never officially confirmed, but given that during the Cold War era, the United States was genuinely known to be deeply interested in biological weapons research, many people found the story believable enough to take seriously. Local residents have said that rumors of a humanoid monster in the area actually go back as far as 1950. There was the Upper Marlboro Ghost incident of 1957. Then, in 1962, a monster was accused of killing 12 children and 2 adults. Different versions of these stories spread from person to person over the years. But the event that truly made the Goatman famous happened in October 1971, when a local Prince George's County newspaper published an article about the University of Maryland Folklore Archives. And that article mentioned the Goatman legend directly. 2 weeks later, the same journalist published a follow-up story with a detailed account of what was described as a real Goatman incident. The story goes like this. A sheepdog named Ginger suddenly went missing. When the dog was eventually found, only a headless body remained. And on the very night Ginger disappeared, several young girls living nearby reported hearing a sharp, piercing cry and claimed they saw a large creature walking on its hind legs. Although the article suggested the dog's death may have been caused by a passing train, the dog's owner, a man named Edwards, remained completely convinced that the Goatman had killed his beloved pet. From that point on, media outlets began digging up more and more Goatman sightings. How many of those were true is anybody's guess. There is another famous Goatman legend, this one from the state of Kentucky. Here, the creature goes by a different name, the Pope Lick Monster. Since the 1960s, a terrifying story has circulated throughout Louisville, Kentucky. Beneath a railway trestle bridge on Pope Lick Creek, a mysterious half-human, half-goat creature is said to live. It has horns on its head and hooves for feet. According to the legend, it uses strange sounds to lure passing humans onto the trestle, where they are then struck and killed by oncoming trains. Other versions say it carries a blood-soaked axe and drives people to jump from the bridge themselves. Now, while this may just be a legend, the fact remains that this trestle bridge, built in the late 19th century, has genuinely claimed a number of lives over the years. 2 of the most recent tragedies occurred in 2016 and 2019, when a 26-year-old tourist and a 15-year-old girl both lost their lives there. As for where the Pope Lick Monster came from, there is one particularly interesting story. According to this version, the creature was a half-human, half-goat hybrid born as part of a traveling circus. When the train carrying the circus passed through Louisville and was struck by lightning, derailing off the tracks, the creature managed to escape. Having been abused for years inside the circus, it had developed a violent and bloodthirsty nature. After carefully researching the circus mentioned in this story, the details become even more interesting. This circus began touring across America in the 1930s. Its ringmaster, a man named Hildreknecht, was a known con artist who specialized in collecting freakish and unusual creatures for his performances. When passing through a small town near Beltsville, Maryland, He reportedly discovered an abandoned infant with severe deformities in the forehead and legs. The baby was taken in and trained to perform. That infant, according to this story, eventually became the Pope Lick monster. This version cleverly connects the Goatman legends from two completely different states and suggests that Maryland was the original birthplace of the creature. Another version of the story has a more mythological quality. In this telling, a shepherd sacrificed a goat in exchange for demonic power. This particular version was responsible for a wave of satanic worship, rumors and devil-related gossip that spread through the Pope Lick area during the mid-1970s. The Pope Lick monster story was eventually adapted into a film in 1988, titled The Legend of the Pope Lick Monster, worth looking up if you are curious. Beyond Maryland and Kentucky, Goatman sightings have also been reported in Texas. The incident took place in July 1969. Multiple witnesses near Lake Worth on Greer Island reported seeing a half-human, half-goat primate covered in fur leap onto a man's car and hurl a tire at the crowd. People called this creature the Lake Worth Monster. That same November, a photographer named Alan Plaster captured photographs of the creature and described it as a white, furry, ball-shaped figure walking like a human. However, 37 years later, in a 2006 interview, Plaster took back his earlier statement and said he now believed the whole thing had been a human prank. His change of heart came after a journalist received an anonymous letter in 2005 from someone claiming that 3 people had worn masks near Lake Worth in the summer of 1969 to scare passers-by. Then in 2009, an unidentified man came forward claiming he was personally responsible for throwing the tire. Perhaps the Lake Worth monster was nothing more than an elaborate hoax from the beginning, but cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman continued to insist that the Lake Worth monster represented an undiscovered primate species. There are thousands of Goatman sighting descriptions on the internet. So does this strange creature actually exist? When you look across world history, half-human, half-goat figures appear in mythology and folklore from many different cultures and time periods. In ancient Greek mythology, the god Pan was described as having a human upper body with the legs, hooves, and ears of a goat. Pan was the god of shepherds, forests, and music, and the son of the hero Hermes. The 2006 fantasy film Pan's Labyrinth features a vivid portrayal of this figure. Other examples of half-human, half-goat imagery include the Roman god Faunus, the Egyptian creator god Khnum, the Scottish supernatural figure Gleistig, the goat-headed demon Baphomet from certain occult traditions, the Alpine folklore creature Krampus, and the English nature spirit Puck, among many others. Even China's ancient text, Shanhai Jing, the classic of mountains and seas, records a mountain god described as having a human form but with goat horns, whose appearance was always accompanied by violent storms, floods, and crop failures. So many historical texts seem to give this kind of creature a certain legitimacy, but we still have to approach this from a realistic perspective. Personally, the likelihood of this creature actually existing feels very slim. Genetics has already ruled out the possibility of human DNA combining with goat DNA, which directly disproves the half-human, half-goat hybrid theory. Beyond that, as time has passed, technology has advanced, and the legal consequences of filing false reports in the United States have grown more serious. Sightings of this kind have become increasingly rare. This makes it hard to avoid suspecting that some individuals or groups may have deliberately manufactured stories and created this kind of public hysteria. As for the mythological versions, while they cannot be verified, we do know that ancient peoples across virtually every culture tended to use animal hides and body parts as symbols of power and status. So my own belief is that this creature is essentially a shadow that human beings drew for themselves. A figure born from imagination, fear, and the need to explain the unknown. To this day, the goat-headed, human-bodied figure continues to appear in films, anime, and games around the world. People have never stopped searching for answers about it, and nobody has ever been able to flatly deny the possibility that something like this might exist. As always, once the unknown will always be greater than the known. That is the real appeal of Yume. That is all for this episode. Thank you for watching.